Hi guys, my name is Mautrisha Chakravarti. I'm a part of this analytics world. So what we have observed that most of the people who are especially not from the statistical background, they are very much scared of statistics. So now this webinar is conducted only to make you understand, even if you are not from statistical background, then also you can be a part of analytics and you can implement the statistical concept very easily. So guys, please let me know, what do you think, what is statistics? Even if you are not from the statistical background, you might have some concept. Guys, please mute yourself.
Yeah, so anyone who wants to say, Matusha? So, okay, just I wanted to introduce myself also. I'm from Ivy, so is Matusha. Matusha is an expert in statistics. I mean, whoever, she's a trainer with us, and whoever has taken her sessions, definitely goes on to say that she is very clear on her concepts, and I'm sure she will make sure that you understand the concept. And this time she will be discussing regression. So, but the whole, the idea of conducting this session was that most people are very scared of statistics, including me. So when we enter into analytics, we feel that, okay, and as a professional, if you have an industry experience, you feel you have to go back to those big, fat, thick books that, you have to read. But it's nothing like that. If you have some basic concepts clear, I think that should take you through. So let's discuss through it. And in case, as Matrisha has, just questioned, whoever has an idea, like maybe one or two of you, whoever feels that they can tell us what is the idea of statistics in your mind, you can share that with us. Matrisha?
Yeah. So,
all right.
Yes, guys. So, please tell me, what do you think? What is statistics? Now my voice is clear, guys. Can you hear me clearly? Okay. So, can you please try to answer me what is statistics? Okay, let me show you one example. Now, I'm having one data. Okay, it is showing me that less number of accidents on rainy days versus non-rainy days. So this is my data. Yes, Aishwarya, it's true. It's telling us some information. But only the information? So you tell me, what information you are getting from this data? Less number of accidents on rainy days versus non-rainy days. Okay, analyzing the data. So you just answer me. What you can interpret from this data? Less number of accidents on rainy days. Means on rainy days, we are having less number of accidents. What does it mean? Okay, so it means rainy day is not safe. We are having less number of accidents on rainy days and it's not safe. Okay. Correlation, Amita, this is a part of statistics. That is not all about statistics. Okay, so less probability, right? So Kanya, lesser cars, so less probability of an accident. It might be by chance also. People might be careful during rain. Okay. So more or less, you people can infer that basic thing, right? So I don't know why you people are scared of, because you answered me correctly. So what you will interpret from this data, that less number of accidents are there. Okay, this is the information what I'm getting. This is also a part of statistics. Okay, we call it descriptive statistics. Now some of them have told me that, okay, on rainy days, because few cars are there, so few accidents are there, right? So this is your inference, what you can infer. So data is just something what you can visualize, right? But from visualization, what you can interpret, that is all about statistics. So let's come to the definition of statistics. It is a science of data. It is concerned with data collection, means when we are gathering the data, gathering the information, that is a part of statistics. Summarizing the information, that is, in our example, less number of car accidents, right? Drawing conclusion and predicting future. So what conclusion we made? that on rainy days, a very less number of cars are there on road. So that's why the probability of accidents is very limited, right? So that is our inference, that is our conclusion. So being an analyst, what you should know how to read the data, how to describe it, and from this description, how will you interpret the result? Okay, so statistics can be divided into some parts. The first one is the descriptive one. It is summarizing the data. Means in our example, it is less number of car accidents are there. And inferential data statistics, which helps in drawing conclusion from data and predicting the future. Here, on rainy days, less cars on road, and that's why less car accidents in absolute term, right? Because relatively, if you see, as because few cars are there, so number of accidents will be lower compared to the non-rainy days. But if you see the relative time term, so obviously percentage of accidents is very high in case of rainy days. So that is the main thing what you should know as an analyst. You don't have to calculate anything. You don't have to, remember so many formulas. You should know how to interpret the result. You are going to use a statistical software, right? It's going to do each and everything for you. It will give you the result, the output. Okay, obviously the statistical output. And you have to interpret the result. When you are interpreting the result, you should know only the concept. Nothing else is required to remember. And now, what is analytics? We are having a data and we have to analyze it systematically. That is analytics. And obviously, statistical concept along with our analyzing power, that is made the concept of analytics. And what are the applications? Yeah, sure. Right. It depends on the data and it depends on the project what you are handling. Okay, you are the analyst. It's your responsibility to interpret the result. So if you are having a better understanding of a particular industry, of a particular event, then obviously you can analyze it in a better way. So that's why we are here, right, guys? Okay. So here, what are the applications of analytics? We are here to describe the events, what we did, predict the future events, and obviously why clients are hiring us or they are giving us a project, so that we can make some conclusion, we can suggest them something to improve their business performance. Okay, now analytics and statistics, they are complements. What do you understand by this word complements? Have you ever heard of this word complements? Complementary good and substitute. Can you tell me what does it mean, complements? Okay, so are you from statistical background? Yeah. Okay. Okay, complete each other, right? Use together. Okay, use together means join. They enhance each other, right? They go side by side. Very good, guys. I'm impressed. So I hope you people are not scared of tea and milk, tea and sugar. Nowadays, most of the people are not taking milk with tea, right? They're very much health conscious. So you can use the example of tea and sugar, right? Yes, they are complements. Car and petrol, right? A very good example. Yes, so they are related with each other. Okay. Good. So complements means when they are used together, when there is any change in one factor, another factor is also getting affected. So analytics and statistics, they are not substitutes. They can't substitute each other. They are actually complements. Okay? They will go together. They will, help each other. So that is what we call complements. Now here you can see analytics, it is having three branches, right? One is descriptive, another one is predictive, another one is prescriptive. Now in descriptive, some concepts of statistics are coming, right? What are those? Have you heard of that average, central tendency, dispersion, probability concept that we have already, we have gone through this concept, or in so many examples we have used this term probability. So probability and then sampling. When we are collecting data, actually we are using the concept of sampling, right, Amit? Very good. So average, probability, sampling, estimation, all these are part of descriptive analytics, where we are describing the data. When you are getting a data, you should understand the structure of the data, right? And then the description of that event. Just like our previous example, less number of car accidents, right? Or suppose if I want to know the average monthly sales of a firm for last 5 years, right? So that is what our descriptive analytics. What is predictive? What are the concepts are coming under this part? Regression forecasting. Okay. Suppose how the price discounts, this can influence the average sales of our product, right? So here we are trying to find out the relationship, as well as we want to predict the value of our sale if we change the price or discount. So how they are related, how they are influencing our variable, our average sales. That is what predictive variable analytics. Another one is prescriptive analytics. This is what optimization. Okay, now which actions should we take to maximize sales? That is what prescriptive. Prescription, right? We got from our doctors. So this is what prescriptive. What actions should we take to get an optimum result? That is what your prescriptive analytics. Now tell me, do you really think it's too tough and so confusing? Especially if you are not from the statistical background or eco background. Guys, please answer me. If you are not from statistical background, are you scared of statistics? I want answer from those people. Okay. Okay, so you people are not from statistical background. Sumit, you are from which background? Okay. 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 If you are from economics background, so you should not be scared of statistics, right? So I'm not considering those people who are from mathematics or statistics or eco background. Okay. Okay, so it's too tough, or at least to some extent you people are scared of this term statistics. And as because you people are going to be a part of analytics world, so and we already know that statistics plays a very important role in analytics, so you should get rid of that fear, right? Now why we are calling it too easy, why it's not so tough in analytics? Because see, if you had this subject in your graduation or post graduation, no, Pluton, I can't hear you. Please write down. Please write down your message. Pluton. Okay, Kashif, scared of a bit of regression? Okay, so this session is going to help you out because I'm going to discuss regression only. Okay. Okay. So whoever had statistics, they know that it involves so big calculations, long calculations, so many tough formulas. Okay. So if you are not from statistical background, after hearing these things, obviously it's very much obvious that you will start getting scared of this subject, because long calculations and a very big and tough formula if you have to remember, so it's very tough. But here, when you are going to be an analyst, you are not going to calculate it manually. So no long and manual calculation will be involved. Your system will calculate it. No need to remember any formula, as because you don't have to do any calculation, so there is no need to remember any formula as well, right? So now what do you think? Is it easy to understand statistics? Because you don't have to remember any formula, you don't have to do any calculation. Only you have to make clear the concept, the statistical concept. And that's why we people are here. Need to learn only the interpretation of the result. Okay? If you are getting a result, how will you interpret? So if your concept is clear, so it's very easy to interpret the result, right? So now what do you think? Is it very tough or too, confusing? BTech students or non-statistical background students, what do you think? If you don't have to do any calculation, if you don't have to remember any formula, what do you think? It's going to be very easy, right? Okay. No, Sumit, you will decide it later, but what do you think? If calculation is you don't have to do, so it's going to be pretty easier, right? At least to some extent. Okay. Okay, great. So after this session, I think you will be confident enough, right, in statistics. Let's see. So let's move on, guys. So what is regression analysis, right? It's a very, very famous concept in predictive analytics. Okay. So today I'm going to discuss this statistical concept in this session. And after discussing it, there is a quiz for you. And then I will ask some question from regression. Hopefully, all of you will be able to answer those questions. Okay, even if you are not from the statistical background. So, what is regression analysis? So, suppose we are having two variables. Okay, two variables means when its value is getting changed, okay, then we call it variable, when we call that data as variable one. Now here we are having two variables, products demand and products price. Okay, now from your common sense, what do you think? Price and demand, they should be related with each other, right? Price of a product and demand for that product should be related with each other. Okay, Sumit, what do you think? Will there be any relationship? Okay, right, guys. Good. So that means they are related with each other, right? So that is what correlation. Suppose we are considering only the normal good. Okay, I'm not going to any special cases for inferior one, for luxury one, especially for the luxury one. I'm not going to that part. Okay. So here the normal good, right? So I'm thinking it normally that price and demand, they are related with each other. If price increases, demand for that product decreases, right? So inverse or negative relationship they are having. So from correlation concept, we get to understand, we get to know whether there is any relationship between two variables or not. Okay. But now, suppose if I want to know how price influences demand, means if there is increase in price, how will it affect the demand for my product? Okay, if price increases by 50 units, okay, my demand will be decreased, but by how much? Yes, demand will fall, definitely, Rohit, but by how much? Can you answer it from your correlation concept? Because you people have answered me that they are inversely related, correlated. Okay, correlated means if they are related with each other or not. Okay, now if I ask you that, okay, so if the price increases by 50 units, my demand will be decreased by how much? No, it doesn't depend on the demand function. Non-statistical background students, Shupriya, you are from statistical background. Kamal? Okay. Teja, what is your background? Okay. So many answers I'm getting. That is not demand function, that is derivative function, right? No, Kamal, not correlation coefficient. It's not from correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient can tell you, the relationship is strong or weak. Okay, Ritik, previous data of the data, not for discrete. Okay, I got your point. Sumit, can you answer me? Ritik, are you from statistical background or eco background? Okay, great. So you are from non-statistical background. Great. Sumit, can you please answer me? Okay. See, from correlation concept, we only can tell whether they are related with each other or not. Okay. So if I want to know if there is increase in price, okay, the demand would be affected by how much? Then we use this regression concept. Okay. Suppose if we want to predict the product's demand, if the price is suppose 500, okay, what would be the demand for my product? I want to predict something, right? Here also I'm going to use the regression. Yes, right. It depends on the coefficient. So if the price is 500, what would be the demand for the product? Okay, so we are predicting something. So here also we are using the regression analysis. So the magnitude of change for prediction, we are using regression analysis, right? Now, so this is our regression equation. So this is what our regression equation. Now let me explain each part of this equation. See, if you're from BTech background, if you're from, mathematics background, or at least we people know the straight line equation. Okay, in standard 10 or 12 we did it, straight line equation, right? So when we are doing regression analysis, so obviously it should have some equation, right? And this is the equation of regression. Okay, and this is a equation of what? Straight line. Am I right or wrong? Tell me. Is it an equation of straight line or not? Okay. So it's right. Great. So you people know this is an equation of straight line. Okay. Now this is my constant term. This is my slope. This is something extra what I have added in my regression equation. I'm going to explain each part of it. Okay. Yes, residual, and here we are going to call it error term. Okay, afterwards we can use it as, yes, residual. I'm not going to that point. Okay, so yes, so this is my straight line equation. Now this quantity or demand, okay, quantity demand or demand is my what? Dependent variable. The demand for my product, the quantity demand for my product, that is the dependent variable, right? And this price is independent variable. What does it mean? Okay. See, in regression equation, when we are using it, this is what error term, and residual is obviously can be explained by this error term only. They are synonymous, but residual term we use after predicting when we are calculating the difference between the observed one and the predictive one. So here I would suggest you to use the word error term when we will just compare between the predicted value and the observed value, but that is in advanced level, guys. Okay, so yes, I will explain it to you. Each and every term, whatever I have used over here, I'm going to tell you the interpretation. Okay, how will you interpret this term? Now, First, let me tell you what is dependent and what is independent variable. Now, what I want to know, if there is any change in price, how it will affect my product's quantity demand, right? So here, this quantity demand is the dependent variable because its value is depending on its price. Am I right, guys? My product's demand is depending on its price, right? So that's why this is what we call dependent variable. And price can influence my dependent variable, right? So this is what independent variable. So here the price is independent variable. Okay. Now if we plot this regression equation, we will get a straight line like this. So this is my intercept term, my constant term. This is what my slope, and error term is something else what I am going to discuss afterwards. Yes, I am going to discuss that. You have to wait only just for 2 minutes. Okay, I am going to explain it to you. Yes, Amit, right. Okay, now have you understood this regression equation? Only the regression equation, it's a straight line. And the term and why the quantity is dependent variable and why the price is independent variable. Have you understood it? Okay. Only the concept. Who are not from statistical background, please confirm me. Then I will proceed. Okay, great. Thank you. Then let's proceed. Now we have already discussed that this is a straight line equation. Okay. So when you will start doing some the classes of statistical software, you will hear the term linear regression model. Why this linear term has been used? Because it's following up the straight line equation. It means straight. That's why we call it linear regression model. And why is it simple? Here I have considered only one independent variable, that is price, right? So that's why we are calling it simple linear regression model. Okay. But suppose if we are having a number of variables, right? Just like price and income of the customers and price of the product. Okay. So I might have so many variables in my regression equation which can affect my dependent variable, right? So then we are calling it multiple linear regression model. So why we are calling it linear? Because it's following up the straight line equation. Okay. When we are having only one independent variable, we are calling it simple linear regression model. When we are having more than one independent variables, then we are calling it multiple linear regression model. Is it clear, guys? Next, I will explain each term of our regression equation. How will you interpret? Now suppose this first line, this is the regression equation's result. Your system has been given you this result only. Quantity is equal to 5 minus 2 of price plus E. For the time being, don't consider this E part. Okay? Just let me know what do you understand by this value 5. Guys, looking at this value 5, what can you interpret? It's following up a straight line equation, right? So if you know, okay. So if you know, okay, intercept, right? Yeah, Amit, you are correct. So let me just interpret value of dependent variable. It's not a value of dependent variable. This is the intercept term's value, right? How will you interpret? Let me tell you. It means if the price, yes. So if the price of my product is 0, suppose, then also there might be a positive demand for my product. Let's say, yes, right. That is a very much mathematical interpretation, mechanical interpretation, right? Now here, as an analyst, you have to interpret in my way. How you are going to do it? Let me explain. Suppose consumption and income. Okay? There is a positive relationship. If your income is increasing, it is expected that your consumption is also increasing. right? Now, if your income is 0, then also you have to consume something to survive, right? Your independent variable is what? Income. And your dependent variable is what? Consumption. Okay? Your consumption depends on your income. Now, when suppose you are not getting a job and somehow I just lost my job, okay? So my income becomes 0, but to survive, I need to consume something. Anyway, I need to earn some money, and then I need to have some food, right? To survive, right, guys? So even if my independent variable's value is 0, then also there is a positive value of my dependent variable. Okay, that is what your intercept value telling about. So here intercept value is 5. It means that if the price of the product will become 0, then the demand for the product will be 5 units. Means I'm charging nothing. Okay? So then also there would be a positive value of my product's demand, and this 5 is telling me that fact. Have you got my point, guys? This interpretation is very important. If you are getting this interpretation, so your statistics will become very, very easy. Okay, so you have understood it, right? And this is your slope, -2 of price. What does it mean? First of all, there is a negative sign. There is a negative sign, right? What does it mean? It means that there is a negative relationship between dependent and independent variable. We already know it, right? That if price increases, demand decreases, right? This minus sign is telling us about the relationship between price and quantity. What type of relationship they are having between them? So they are having an inverse relationship, negative relationship. That's why we have a negative. Now, how will you interpret this value 2? Now, this is also very, very, very important. This is a slope. Okay. Now, in mathematical term, this is a slope. Now, as an analyst, how will you interpret this result? If price increases, is right. If price increases by 1 unit, the quantity demand will be decreased by 2 units on average. If price increases by 1 unit, I asked you, when we were just about to start the regression analysis, I asked you one thing, that if my price increases by 50 units, okay, the quantity demand will be decreased, but by how much? Okay, how will you get to know? So this slope term will help you out, right? The slope term will help you out to answer that question. If your price is increases by 1 unit, your quantity demand will be decreased by 2 units. This is how you will interpret the slope term. Yeah, obviously. But practically, this is the difference. Practically, you can't keep everything constant. Okay, that is just an assumption. So, guys, have you understood the interpretation of this intercept value and the slope value? How will you interpret the value of your intercept and the value of your slope? Let me know, guys. Please answer me. Non-statistical, guys. Okay. Others, please answer me. Okay, great. 2, it is derived. It is derived, obviously. There is a formula. Okay. I'm coming to that point. I will discuss that thing. Okay. The interpretation you have understood, right? This is the main thing what you should know.
Yeah.
The formula you don't have to remember. When you will do statistics classes, the formula is also given to you. But when you will start analyzing your data using different type of software, this result would be given to you. Okay, yes, right. So the system will give you this output. Okay, there you don't have to remember the formula. Ayan, what is your problem? Don't consider 5.
Uh, by formula, are you referring to the mathematical derivation of this thing?
Yes,
Perhaps.
actually, regression equation, there is a slope and that intercept terms value, okay, that is derived
Yeah.
from a formula. Okay, we call it like ordinary least square method. Following up that method, we can
Yeah.
derive the formula of slope and intercept. Okay, a very big formula is there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are from statistical background, it's not possible to remember these formulas every time. So, and in interview, no one is going to ask you what is the formula of it. They will ask you that what is regression? Do you know what is regression? Okay, how will you interpret the intercept term? How will you interpret the slope term? Ayan, you don't have to consider that 5
Okay.
units. It is something else. It is just an intercept term. Okay, don't go to that calculation for the time being. Try to understand the interpretation. Okay, no, values are not assumptions. Here I have assumed something. Okay, the system will give you. See, the thing is that here I'm discussing only
Can I
one
ask you,
regression concept. Yes, tell me.
just a very small question I have.
Yeah.
Uh, Generally in regression, we tend to look at the R squared and the adjusted R squared
Yeah.
to look into the amount of the kind of right, isn't it? Now the interview might ask that what is the difference, and at that point in time I might have to explain in terms of mathematics what the difference
No.
is.
You don't have to use the mathematical term. What is R squared? If anyone is asking you, okay, you have to answer it giving a very simple business example. I'm telling you from my own experience.
Like what would that be?
Okay.
Okay.
So if they're asking you what is regression, you are not going to tell them the formula of intercept term, the formula of slope. You are going to tell them regression when you want to predict the value of your dependent variable. Okay, if there is any change in your independent variable, so that thing you can predict by using that regression analysis concept. Then they can ask you that how will you interpret the intercept term, how will you interpret the slope term. So that time you can use any simple example and can explain it to them. They want to know whether you know the concept or not and whether you know how to implement the concept or not. Okay, they are not going to ask you the formula. And this is a straight line equation, so it's very simple to remember. Some equation, something you have to remember, but that is very simple, just like your a square minus b square formula. We never forget it, right? So some basic formulas are there what you have to remember. Okay, not very difficult one. Yeah, so Akhi, the values are not assumptions. Here I have assumed something system will give you when you will run the model. I'm not going to that part because that is an advanced level. This is only a discussion. This is only a session where I can make you understand how you can interpret the statistical concept in practical life. Okay, so that who are scared of this statistical concept, they will get rid of their fear. Okay, thanks. So let's proceed then. Now come to this error term. Okay, suppose you are having a multiple linear regression equation, right? We have considered price of the product, income of the product, right? There might be so many factors which can affect the dependent variable, but we have not considered in our equation, right? Guys, are you getting my point? When we have considered price and income, there are so many factors left out which might have effect on my dependent variable. but at a point of time or at the same time, you can't include all of them in your regression equation. You can include 200 variables. Then also you might have some other factors left out, okay, which are having effect on your dependent variable. Okay, so if we want to include their effect in our model, then we are using this error term. We are summing up the effects of all those external factors. External factors means those factors what we have not included in our regression equation. Okay, they are external factors. So we are just summing up their factors and we are putting E, actually epsilon, we use epsilon, here we use E, okay, and we incorporate in our regression equation to show the effect of those external factors on my dependent variable. Just like our demonetization, when I build up this regression equation, I didn't consider demonetization's effect. So many socio-economic factors might be there which might affect my dependent variable. So I need to consider their effect. So I'm summing up their effects and I'm just putting E in my equation, regression equation, which will indicate those external factors effect on my dependent variable. So here you see I have used the example of demonetization. It has an effect on the demand, but we didn't include it in our regression equation. This is what your error term. Yeah.
Is demonetization a new predictor you are actually trying to mention?
Yes,
or something?
Yes. It is a predictor, but I have not included it in my equation, right? And there are so many socio-economic factors which can affect demand of my product. Okay, so I need to consider their effects. So that's why what I'm doing, I'm just putting E or epsilon in my regression equation, which is actually indicating their effects. Okay, now is it clear?
There might be interaction effects as well.
Yeah. Okay, so now the question. Do you have to remember the formula of slope and intercept? Obviously not. Kamal, obviously there is a way to do it. I'm not going to that part. Okay, so in this session we have focused on the interpretation part. If you people do the statistical classes, the formulas would be given to you, but in those classes also, even when you will do the different type of software, the instructor always will ask you to give more importance to your interpretation part. The coding part, the formula is available in internet, but no one is going to interpret the result. If you get a PDF, you only go through the concepts. Sometimes it would be very difficult to understand. So that's why it is very, very important to understand the interpretation, the concept first. Formula, the derivation part, if you know the approach, if it is given to you, you can derive it by yourself. The code is also available in internet. Okay, but if you want to understand statistical interpretation, you should know the concept. Okay, and how will you interpret the result? That you should know. So here also we are not going to remember any formula of slope and intercept. Okay, we should know only the interpretation which will help us to find a conclusion and take a strategy. Okay, now there are so many practical examples. Okay, so can you people tell me that where we can use this regression analysis concept industry wise? Now you know what actually the regression analysis is doing, right? So simple example can you give me where we can use the regression analysis concept? Predictive analysis is something, right? It is coming under that predictive analysis. Give me some example, very basic and very easy example. In retail market, and how will you use this concept? Example, okay, stocks, what you want to know? Real estate, okay, these are the industries, right? Very good. Rainfall and yield of crop, that is the correlation plus regression is there. Advertising and sales, very good. Okay, so these are the practical examples. A pharmaceutical company, it can use to identify a suitable expiration date. A credit card company apply regression analysis. Yeah, right. Regression analysis to predict monthly gift card sales and improve yearly revenue projections. Okay, yeah, great.
So that's in the e-commerce
Right.
for A/B testing.
Right,
We can
everywhere,
do it.
wherever we want to predict something, right? And we want to know is there any relationship or not, and how it's going to affect. In insurance company, in banking sector, everywhere they are going to use this regression concept. So regression analysis is very, very important for your analytics career. Okay, now I hope the concepts are clear. So now I will move to the quiz part, okay, where one data is given to you, one regression equation you can see, and I will ask you to interpret each term of this regression equation. This is what we have. Sales,
For
yeah,
each
it will
unit
be
increase
available.
in price, the unit in sales increases by 25.
Okay. Can you please write it down, because if you say, everyone can hear you and they will not answer me. Kindly, everyone,
Okay.
please write down your answers. How will you interpret? What is sale? Okay, Aishwarya, if it is 350, how will you interpret the result? Okay, Shupriya, answer me privately, please. Non-statistical background students, please answer me. Sales means what? Sumit, okay. Let me call you one by one and just answer me then. Okay, Sumit, but just answer me something. What? How will you interpret 350? First you answer me and then you will leave. I have no problem. Sumit, how will you interpret 350? You are not from statistical background, right? And you were confused.
Yes, and you, yeah. Well, I'm not from a statistical background, so just sort of,
Okay,
whatever I
so
could think of.
you just answer me. How will you interpret this 350?
I'll send you the message.
Okay. Let
to
me.
you.
Yes. Very good. Yes, very good. So you have got this, concepts. Okay, guys. So great. Shupriya. Okay. Aki. Okay. So will you please explain 350 terms, 25 and 75? Okay, great.
I only wish this session could have been a little longer.
Yeah.
I only wish this session could have been a little longer. I mean, it's a lot of interesting things you're talking about.
So, didn't you get it interesting?
Well, I did.
Okay.
So,
yeah, see, in just one session.
But again,
Yeah, that I can understand. See, in just one session, it's not possible to cover up all the topics, right? So I have considered the very, very important topic, that is regression analysis. And I made you people understand that, yeah, so you should understand the concept only. And in interview also, you are going to face this type of questions. No one is going to ask you the formula. So that is the, that was my objective.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Perhaps might be within the context. Don't you think if I am to interpret, there are a lot of jargon we generally from a person like no engineering background. So we do come across a lot of jargon like chi-squared and lot of things.
Yes, these
now
are there, and those are very, very important one also.
Yeah.
And in our statistics class, we covered up all those concepts. Okay. I mean, Ivy
but the question was actually, the question actually is like, I know that, okay, if I have a chi-squared with a certain degrees of freedom and with certain p-value, I reject or accept null hypothesis. But don't you think that how the chi-square itself statistic is getting calculated would actually give a person more confidence to actually go ahead and work on it or do something, or because
then I would tell you,
things would be very mechanical.
Sure. No, it's not actually mechanical. Let me tell you something. Ritik, I'm going to answer your question. Yeah, let me just answer Pluton and then I'm coming to your point. Yeah, let's see. See, we are from statistical background. I'm from economics background. Okay, so we know how to calculate these things, but we didn't know how to implement the statistical concepts practically. When I came to this world, this analytics world, I understood that here you have to understand the concept only when you are using the chi-square test, when you are using the regression concept, when you are using the correlation coefficient concept. This is very important. When we had this in our graduation, in our post-graduation, we never thought like that. We didn't know how to implement it in practically. And if you don't know its practical uses, it's actually useless. So that's why we people are telling you that you have to clear your
that's right.
If you know when and how to implement your concept, then obviously you are going to rock in analytics world. Now, for your own good, for your own interest, if you want to know the calculation, so many books are there. You can just go through those books. You can just know the procedure, how it is calculated. That you can do by yourself only. But in analytics, it is not required. The requirement is to know the interpretation. And when you are going to use the chi-square test, no one is going to ask you the formula. They are going to ask you, you are talking about chi-square. Do you know when do we do this chi-square test? They are going to ask you this thing because they also know the formula is available in internet. The code is available in internet. Okay. But they want to know whether you know when to apply what concept. That is the main thing. Okay. Now, yes.
Okay.
Riddhi, yeah, advertisement is taken as the second independent variable, right, and not as the error term. Yes, Riddhi, here I have not considered error term. Okay, I have only given two independent variables with its slope and intercept. That is what.
Another question I have, if I'm allowed to, I'm asking maybe a lot of questions.
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah,
sure, just a second. Shomona, if the price of drug increases by 1 unit, the sales will increase? Yes, right, Shomona. Your answer is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm a person from an engineering background with industry experience in information management. Now, do you think a person like me, I have experience of around 10 plus years in various industries. If I want to really make a mark in this field, or enter into this field, and I'm not a stat guy. Okay, I never had the stat things like you guys had in your subjects and whatsoever. Do you think it would be really, really difficult? Because I have a feeling, I'm not very sure, that unless and
absolutely not. You are from so many people are coming from the BTech background. So many people are coming from the engineering background who are experienced, who have experienced more than 10 years in engineering. See, each and every field's experience is going to help you out. Analytics is not only about your statistics. You should understand the industry as well. And as because you are from these sort of industries, the IT industries, or if you are from banking industry, for any industry, if you are having some sort of industrial knowledge you are having. See, system can give you any output, right? The formula you don't have to remember. You know how to interpret the result. Even if you are getting a result, you are going to accept it or reject it. That's also depending on you. Okay, so obviously any sort of experience does matter. Okay, so don't get worried. Even if you are from the engineering background, then also you are having a great chances to get a good opportunity in analytics world. You can utilize your experience over there as well as this analytics programs knowledge. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So yeah. Sure, you can leave. So I hope you people have find it interesting and useful, and I hope this PPT would be available to you. Okay, so don't get worried about it. So yes.
Uh-huh.
So if you people are clear enough in this concept, so now I will just finish this session, or if you are having any doubts or queries, let me know, please, guys. No,
I've got
Kamal,
one
the
last question.
error term, yes, Pluton,
Okay,
I'm going to tell you. Kamal, we will insert any error term. Actually, the error term we are going to interpret when we will talk about the residual. Okay, there we are going to use that error term. And error term interpretation would be same. It's going to indicate other external factors effect in your regression equation. Okay, and some advanced level knowledge you should have, like what is residual and all those things. I'm not covering up those concepts over here, but obviously there is a term residual, what is actually we are going to use in our regression analysis part. Okay, great. Ayan, just let me
okay.
see your question, please. And can you please write down your query once again, because I'm not getting it. So many messages are there. Yeah.
James, session is over.
Yeah, you can.
Or
Yes.
I,
Yeah, Pluton.
can I
Yes,
pose my last question?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, these days I could see a lot of, online websites and online courses, coming up, as you are already aware of the market scenario, talking about this course will actually help you learn regression, linear programming, and stuff like that. And now, generally we see that, there are two types of, if I am category broadly classify. One is ILT, instructor-led training, and then there's a computer-based training, which is online trainings available like Udemy and stuff like that. Now, how do you think? I mean, do you really think that this online courses, sometimes with the paid courses as well, they really can help you to get you somewhere? Or do you think that the focus should be more on ILT? I mean, I really want to know that, because there are so many things which tends to confuse, so many online portals. They say that you take this, there's a price quoted, and then you take this course, you will be good at this. So
See,
how do you
I
think?
would tell you
Does
that
it really help?
when you are pursuing one course, suppose you are pursuing one analytics course, okay, try to complete it sincerely, because here if you are doing R, SAS, statistics, Excel, VBA, and SQL, then if along with the Hadoop and Tableau, you are actually covering up all those things. Okay, so you are doing big data analytics, you can get a chance as as a data scientist also. So if you pursue so many courses at a point of time, it would be very difficult, because there is no model which is very very easy. See, here also the statistics
That's
I'm
right.
making you understand easily, but you have to understand it. If you are pursuing so many courses, how will you concentrate in each module? Okay, so it's better to pursue one course, and when you are pursuing one
That's
module,
true.
give focus on that module only. Okay, just when you are more confident, you are confident enough that okay, whatever questions will be asked from this module, I would be able to answer it, then you shift to another module or another course. And analytics and big data scientists, or data analytics, these courses covered up so many important tools and concepts. So if you pursue any other courses with it, so I think it would be difficult for you, but you have to master in each
Yes,
part
indeed
of
it is, because they are equally complex. They are equally demanding.
Pluton, just a second. Ayan, yeah, price and sales, they are having a positive relationship. Yes. Why is it so? Because when your price is increasing, okay, you want to sell more, right? You are not going to consider the consumer's side. As a producer, if the price is increasing, obviously you want to sell more to get more profit. So that is what there is a positive relationship. And yes, how the interpretation is what is they are positively related. And one another thing you need to add, that if there is 1 unit increase in price, the sales would be increased by 25 unit on average. So as for advertisement, if there is 1 unit increase in the advertisement cost, then the sales will be increased by 75 units on average. Okay, I hope you have got your answer, right? Okay, great. Yeah, so, okay, guys, so.
And you know what, Trisha,
Pluto.
the thing is, whenever we look at, the job portals, wherein when they send out ads for recruitment of people, I see as in, they are looking for like the kind of criteria they put down. I mean, they are expecting nobody less than an Einstein or Newton, it seems like. You should be doing predictive, you should be having knowledge of machine learning, you should be having knowledge of neural networks, you should be having knowledge on SAS or Python. My goodness, that is the place where I actually think that how can one person, master it all? And that's actually in most of the job ads, I see the same kind of pattern over and over again.
Yeah, I can understand, but you have to master in this R, SAS or Excel and SQL, and obviously you will get ample of chances. So I can assure you that. Obviously they want so many things from you, but they are actually looking for a specific role. Okay, for a particular role. So you are going to use R, either R or Python. Okay, or suppose you should know the C++ or R. If you know the C++, you will be responsible for some sort of job. And for if you know R or SAS, your responsibility would be different. So it depends on the job role. So don't get confused looking at those job portals or anything. Just whatever you are doing, try to master in it, and definitely you will get a very good opportunity over here.
Okay, keeping my fingers crossed.
Okay. So thank you guys. Hope you people have got it interesting and useful, and now people are not scared of statistics. So I'm just finishing this session. Best of luck. Take care. Thank you.